Hi, my name's Kathy Millett, and this week, winter is here. Yep, winter's coming to some parts of the world, so I made some snow and ice dioramas. And for this week, I used Precision Snow and Ice, their starter snow base set. Now, I bought this myself, there's no sponsorship or anything, so this is a completely unbiased review. Natty bag, really good instruction booklet actually, really helpful, and they've got YouTube videos as well if you want to see them doing it themselves. Snow wash, which I used to produce a little snowed up vehicle. I need practice, but it was a really great first attempt. Winter camouflage paint, I didn't use this, but maybe whitewash the interior of shops. I may well have a use for it in future. And then adhesive, as well as 2 snow powders, extra and fine. Now, oh, and a sieve, forgot about the sieve, very useful for applying them. Now I've got to say that for £24.50, this entire set would produce a lot of dioramas and the results are stunning. So I'm really pleased and I'm going to show you how I did it. So before we start, I just want to mention these other products that I'm not going to be using this week, and these are ice. You can actually buy sheets of ice. This one has got trapped air and it's really interesting. I'm not quite sure what, it's just fascinating. I'm not quite sure where I would use it and where that air would be trapped. So I need to think about this one. This one is broken ice, it's refrozen, and I really like it. It's got a dusting of their snow and ice powder on as well, and it shows you how that technique might be coming out if I do it properly. So these are great and they come really well packaged and they're there, and you would just either cut them or smash them. I will be doing ice on my main big diorama when I get there, but that's a couple of months away. So first up, just have a look at these. They look really nice, don't they? So last time I made loads of small dioramas in HO and O scale, and these are a couple of those dioramas, and I'm going to use these as test beds. So I'm going to be putting the fine powder on the HO one and the extra powder on the larger one. And they suggest a number of ways you can apply it. You can apply any type of glue that you like, and that's where these powders really look good on the website. If you spray it from the side, the powders stick on the direction that the glue, hairspray, clear lacquer, whatever, their adhesive out of an airbrush or squirt bottle, whatever it is that you use and spray, that's what looks good. Now for this one, I'm going to use a clear lacquer by Halfords, and currently it's warming it's just in a bowl of hand hot water. Not too hot, you might blow your can off. Enough I can put my hand in, and that makes the spray much smoother. The other thing you really need to do is shake. Now this is a automotive lacquer, so it's a little bit smellier perhaps than I would normally do in my house, but here we go. So, oh yeah, quite light sprays, start to one side so it doesn't splodge it, and then I'm going to put it down over my base coat here. I don't really mind if it dries clear or matte, it's going to be clear, and then this is the extra, just literally shake it on and then tap off the excess. Good coat and tap off the excess. Turn it upside down, try not to drop it. There we go. Ooh. And this bit's gone a bit manky because it still had the glue on from the last adhesive test that didn't work. So that was obviously a bit thicker and is stuck, which is interesting. You can see a thick amount of adhesive causes a different finish. Now I wanted to put a couple of coats on this, so I'm just going to carry on adding another coat of clear lacquer to build it up, because they do recommend that you build it up. So shake. There we go. And oops, not over that one because that's all yucky. Over this one. And just a case of shaking it on. Now looking at this, the extra and the fine don't look that different to me. So I'd be intrigued to see if it does make much difference. There obviously is a difference. There we go. Turn it upside down and tap it. What I'm finding is it's not sticking on the sides here, and I want a little bit, so I'm just going to turn it sideways and just see if I can capture it. It won't stick anywhere that the paint and glue hasn't gone, but I'll just get a different angle then, which is what I want. So here we go. There we go, and that's kind of stuck a little bit. but not so much on that side. I'm going to continue doing this for another, probably going to put 5 layers on and see where I get to. So to try out this HO one, I'm going to use permanent spray adhesive, which are the things that they recommend you can use. This is permanent spray adhesive from Hobbycraft. There's Craft Mount. What I find is if you spray it, it's a very vertical spray. So I'm going to hold this. I'm actually going to hold it on top of here so that my hand doesn't get covered, and I'm going to spray down onto here. And I'm holding it from this kind of angle, as this is the direction I want the snow to look like it's come from. So a bit of a fine mist, and then put that down on top of my dry sheet, and then we'll just sprinkle some of this powder on. And then I can just sprinkle it on, and it'll only stick in certain places, and then I can tap it upside down and it will all fall off. There we go. So this is the fine. And let's just see what happens when I turn it upside down and tap it. Ooh, well, yeah, it all comes off when you do that. There we go. You get this really amazing dust coat, don't you? Which looks absolutely amazing. Wow, everything's got a kind of frosty look. I want to see what a second coat would do. There we go, and you can see it's starting to build up in some of these places. There's just a bit more snow. Now obviously you can build these up more and more layers until it becomes almost like solid snow. I don't think these products are best for use for solid snow. I think they're a coating product. If you want to do solid snow though, I'd start with a piece of Dazzle, something that's already white underneath, or Sculptamold, and then just put these as a covering coat. You don't use as much snow powder then, which is obviously quite expensive if you're going to use a lot of it to build up what is effectively just hidden snow. So now I've tried the snow powders, and I love how they're turning out. I think they look really good. I like the way this technique of spraying with a huge variety of different sprays that you can use. You can do that sort of directionality and get it just sticking on one side. I really like that, and I think they have a good look of snow about them. So now I'm going to try the Krycell Precision Ice and Snow wash. And that's for building up layers like snow has blown onto a vehicle, which sounds really exciting. So I'm intrigued to see what it is. They say put out a little bit, and it looks very much like just a white paint to me. But as you shake it, you can see it's got snow suspended in it, which is interesting. Put out a few bits, and they say you can mix it with snow to get more in it. And I can see what it's doing there. And they also suggest you leave your vehicle at an angle, and then it will tip in the direction you want to. So I'm going to do the wheels last, and I'm just going to apply this. Now this is a completely un-anythinged truck really, so you can just see how this goes on. So there's nothing else done to it. You can't go, oh Kathy, that's an amazing weathering job, and get confused between the product and everything else. So you can see it's building up around the edges. I do suspect it needs regular shaking. So this is dried up overnight, and it looks interesting, isn't it? I would say it's more like a heavy salt encrustation than perhaps snow and ice. So I'm going to put another layer on, but this time I'm going to add in the snow powder like they suggest. I'm going to use the fine one. So they suggest you put it out onto a side here. I don't know if it re-dissolves or whether it might do. So I'm just going to put it into here and add a bit of snow powder. That's probably enough. So you can see it becomes this kind of, I don't know, just this, it does look kind of like foamy snow now. So we're going to try putting that on, and it's a bit thicker, so I can probably just dab it on to the areas where I want the snow to be sitting. And I'm going to think that probably the bonnet will have the least amount of snow. Because, you know, in my experience, bonnets stay warmer for longer. But it's going to be really useful in this back here, where the snow that I put on just didn't really cover particularly. But I think this will cover a lot more. There's a knack to applying this like anything. You need to make it look smooth, and the snow powder does settle out a little bit, and if you knock it, it starts looking less smooth. So it took me a few attempts to get something I was happy with. Right, I wanted to try footprints, except I thought I won't do footprints in HO. Yeah, they're 3.5 mil maybe for a Bigfoot, 4-wheel with 00, not that big. So I know I'm going to try a lorry, and this one's got interesting foot sort of tyre prints. So I thought, oh, I could run it just across here and see what it looks like. So I've just literally glued, very sloppily, you can probably see the super glue underneath, some just bushes, the Woodland Scenic Clump foliage, and some bits of grass sort of that I had sitting around, and a few bits of tufts of something that was sitting on the side as well. And I found another bottle of hairspray after my incident yesterday with it just going, yeah, hairspray, me, never use it. I had actually found a really small can as well I got for free. So I do have hairspray, and just, yeah, makes no impact on my hair. But this one sprays, so that's good. And everyone says hairspray is better for building up thick layers of Krycell. So what I'm going to do is spray this and then sprinkle on my fine with the sieve and the fine Krycell powder and see what I can build up. Spray. And then sprinkle. Definitely a thicker coat than I got with either of the two things yesterday. So we'll see. I'm not sure I've got quite to the edges, but... And you can see this is absorbing it. It says you have to turn it upside down and tap it to get it off, which is what we've been doing. And then the next thing you need to always make sure that you do is... you can carry on doing the layers when it's hairspray, you can keep building it up. And we want a nice thick layer, but we need it all to be stuck on. And I know when I turn this upside down, a large amount of it's going to come off. Oh, and I've started writing what they are underneath, so I can remember all of these in a bit. Oh dear, we lost a clump. Oh well, there we go, snowy bush over there. Okay, so I can see it's built up, I see what's happening, and I've got this a little bit on the extra one. It comes off in layers, and that will disappear the more I spray it. So I totally lost track of how many layers I did, but thanks to the magic of videoing, I can tell it was 6 layers in total, 5 in this sped up version and 1 in the original version. So I wanted a deepish snow. I know people go up to 9 or 10 layers. It really depends what you want to do and what kind of effect you're after. And now I'm going to run my truck through and see how that looks. So we're going to start over here. Now I've left a bit of the powdered snow on the surface, so it's not totally... Oh, that looks quite good. Pick another one and just do a different one along here. Yeah, interesting. Well, that's good. Whoops. Don't dig in too much, you'll do what I did there and take it off. Well, they say less is more. I'm going to leave it at that. So there we go. It's interesting. It has a very different texture to the snow that we had on this one here, which is a little bit more powdery, if anything. And this one was clear lacquer underneath, and it's a different type of glue. So it's interesting to see you can get very different snow effects. And this, obviously, you want to put this on because you want it to be quite soft and malleable, and the hairspray is still damp in all those layers, so when you put your tyre tracks through you get these lovely marks where the snow's been sort of compacted. Interesting though, because those people who tell me that it doesn't yellow the snow, there are many different brands of hairspray. This one to me looks slightly yellow. It doesn't look as where I put this on top compared to here, I can see a slightly different colour. I wonder if it will dry pure white as everything, all those solvents evaporate. Let's hope so. So here we are, the final results. Really pleased. On this HO diorama, The frost is there. It's frostier on the side I sprayed the glue from, and you can really see a difference. Really nice powdery sort of light snow effect on the bare ground. If I stopped at one coat, it would have been just a frost. I did 2 coats on this. Really pleased with that. The you can see that I probably just sprayed more heavily towards the middle, so that's something to watch for. But the snow's starting to cake more. I could have carried on adding layers, and I really like the way the snow is stuck onto the side of the post as if the snow's been driven across. Really impressed by how easy it is to get that great effect. And on my final diorama I do think the hairspray has yellowed the snow a bit, if I'm honest. Maybe it's just me being biased. And you get this lovely tyre track effect. And I think that's going to look really good with my snowed up vehicle on it. There we go. So all in all, I do need practice on the snowed up vehicle techniques. I can see where I put brush marks into it, and it looks like someone's perhaps gone along and brushed it a bit, but that may not be what you want. But all in all, that is an amazing way of adding very robust snow. I mean, I can touch it and nothing moves onto your buildings, layouts, whatever. So I would say definitely this pack, Precision Snow and Ice Starter Pack, is well worth it.
So here's the final result. And guys, I couldn't have done it without my Patreons. The money that you give me every month allowed me, in this instance, to go out and buy product that I used on this. And then it's an unbiased review. Can I also thank all the people that have given me comments and help on how to apply some of these things. I've done snow before, but I've never used some of these products. So people have been really helpful in comments. And if you've got anything, put it in the comments below. I'm always intrigued to see how other people did it. At the same time, if you want to know what I used, all the materials are in the description below. Please subscribe to my website where I have further details and more photos, etc. And let me know what you think. That's all for now, guys, and thanks for watching.